I'm not dependent on punch power, you know. You know what, it takes a lot more than that to be a great fighter. A lot more than that to be a great fighter, so there's various ways I'll win. I got the fighter spirit, and that's how I'll go in there and break him down with my spirit.
But he can't though. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's not even equipped to fight this dude. He's not. It's going to have to be a bunch of stuff in there. Joshua will punish this.
Possible for somebody like Anthony Joshua, who is so big and so strong, to even think he's going to take it easy. Because even if he tries to take it easy, he's so powerful, so strong that even those punches that are being easy are still going to hurt.
At the press conference, Anthony Joshua warned Jake Paul, calling him delusional for thinking he can win. Joshua admitted he's taken the fight mainly for financial reasons, treating it as a business decision, but emphasized that once inside the ring, he is still the far superior, more experienced, and more dangerous fighter.
Yeah, I deliver what I was supposed to deliver years ago. I deliver what they ran from. I deliver what he asked for $50 million for. I'm gonna give him a $50 million knockout.
I honestly listen to what people say sometimes. They're avoided, this person's running. I honestly think some people are deluded. Really, I do think that they've got some sort of a long-term concussion, because no one's running. In terms of 50 million, I'm a businessman. If there was 50 million on the table.
Chris Algieri explains that this fight gives Anthony Joshua an ideal opportunity to return to the ring after a period of inactivity following his last loss. The matchup allows Joshua to rebuild confidence, regain his competitive rhythm, and ease back into high-level competition with minimal risk and the chance to earn a substantial purse. It's almost like a controlled sparring session. Algieri emphasizes that Joshua gains not only financially, but also mentally and physically, making this fight a smart and strategic step for his comeback.
What are we talking here? Like, it's going to be an exhibition? No, it's a fight. You're a heavyweight. You're calling out heavyweights. You're calling out a heavyweight. You're calling out Anthony Joshua, former world champion. You're calling him out on short notice. It's a fight. You're going to wear 10-ounce gloves, and you're going to fight 10 rounds, and that's what it is. I don't understand any idea of anything else. Oh, it's going to be 8-2s? Is it going to be 15-ounce gloves? What the hell are we doing? This is boxing. You want to fight a real guy? You're fighting a real guy, which I am very respectful, and I respect the hell out of Jake Paul if he does step in the ring with Anthony Joshua. No matter what happens, kid's got balls of steel, and I applaud you.
Well, the reason I say we don't know yet because Jake Paul has fought in his last fight with Gervonta Davis was going to be an exhibition. They had to do that because of the weight difference. This is still a weight difference here. I mean, Anthony Joshua...
No, there's not. No, it's not. It's heavyweight. It's the same weight class.
Well, what do you consider Jake Paul, cruiserweight or heavyweight?
Heavyweight. How much did he weigh his last fight?
He's fought at cruiserweight. He's also fought at heavyweight. Against Tyson was at heavyweight.
What was his last fight? He's a cruiser. He's a heavyweight.
What was his last fight? His last fight was at cruiser against Chavez. Whatever, you know what I mean. Like the reason Gervonta Davis fight.
He fought Chavez after Tyson.
Yeah.
Yes, Tyson was that long ago. Wow.
Yeah, it was a year ago. This week, I was looking at my Instagram memories. I was in Dallas, Texas, getting ready for me pooping my pants on Netflix. That was about a year ago. Exhibition. These are questions that are asked. These are questions that are attacked.
Eddie Hearn explains that Anthony Joshua is very interested in facing Jake Paul, but the camp must proceed cautiously due to Paul's unpredictable behavior. Jake has a history of finalizing opponents only to cancel or delay fights at the last minute, making planning and preparation difficult. Joshua's team, therefore, remains ready for sudden changes while continuing to train and strategize. Hearn emphasizes that if Paul is genuinely committed, the fight could deliver one of Joshua's biggest financial paydays. However, he stresses the importance of balancing excitement with caution, ensuring Joshua can capitalize on opportunity without facing unnecessary distractions or risks. Hearn's analysis underscores the need for patience and readiness, as navigating Jake Paul's unpredictability requires careful management to protect Joshua's career while maximizing rewards.
Jake Paul news seems to come to a surprise for many. How close are we to making that fight, Eddie?
Not that close. I mean, there are conversations. There's a lot of hurdles to overcome. But if he's serious about the fight, and if it can get made, there's a very good chance we'll do it.
Is it on Netflix, and what did DAZN have to say of the fact that it made
one of the hurdles to overcome? But we were going to have an 8-round run out in December. It just so happens it might be against Jake Paul.
Have you spoke to Nikisa? I know you're not friends with him. What other conversations you've had?
That's who we're talking about, you know. And if they're serious and if it's real, there's a good chance. But listen, we could wake up tomorrow and he's announced another opponent and he just used AJ's name for clout. Listen, I have to respect him if he takes the fight, but who knows?
What do you think Dana White will make of this fight?
I mean, he did Mayweather against McGregor. He doesn't like Jake Paul. I really couldn't care less what he thinks about the fight. AJ's going to make close to or around a career high payday, and we'll take.
Paulie Malignaggi emphasizes that Anthony Joshua will approach the fight with complete seriousness, even if it is officially labeled as an exhibition. He notes that throughout his career, Joshua has never underestimated any opponent, and stepping into the ring means bringing his full focus, power, and technical skill. Malignaggi highlights that Joshua's discipline, timing, and ring intelligence allow him to exploit openings and punish mistakes effectively. Ryan Garcia echoes his perspective, pointing out that even if Joshua moderates his intensity, his natural strength and precision still make his punches extremely dangerous. Together, their insights underline that Jake Paul faces a real physical threat, and the fight cannot be taken lightly despite its promotional or entertainment framing. Analysts stress that Joshua's experience against top-tier heavyweights gives him the ability to control the pace, distance, and momentum of the bout. They agree that Paul must display both strategy and resilience, as Joshua's skill and power create a high-risk environment where any lapse could have serious consequences. The discussion confirms that this matchup demands respect, focus, and thorough preparation from both fighters, highlighting that underestimating Joshua's capabilities would be a critical mistake for Paul.
Now, and if you listen to this, it's definitely anything.
Yeah, Fight for 84, big boxing movie that's hitting Netflix soon about the Olympic 84 team starring Jamie Foxx and Chris Algieri.
I'm not starring in anything, but whatever. Yeah, I got a credit. I'm in it. I got some lines. So
That's amazing. That is so cool. I mean, this couldn't get any cooler. You're now in the movie, which is absolutely absurd.
yeah,
What a
I mean,
day.
hopefully,
What a life.
Hopefully, maybe there'll be more of this. Who knows?
I think it's just the beginning. I think this podcast is numbered. Our days are numbered.
No way.
This
I'm
guy's going
never
Hollywood.
letting this go, Dan. This is I'm a ride or die.
I hope you get so big and become such a big actor that you are like delaying production because you have to film our podcast in your trailer.
Chris is in his trailer. He's got to finish his podcast with Dan.
They're like, who's Dan? It's Johnny Drama style.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, just
When he was on the set of
total
Five
diva.
Minutes.
Just total diva in every way possible.
Yes, like we said, this episode is brought to you by PPV.com. December 6th, we're going to see Pitbull Cruz versus Lamont Roach. And guess what? We're going to talk to Lamont Roach on this episode. I caught up with Lamont and to get his thoughts on the fight with Pitbull, to get his thoughts on Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua, which we're going to get to in a second, to get his thoughts on 140, potentially fighting at 135. That's coming up in just a little bit with Lamont Roach. Don't forget to order that fight with us at PPV.com and all the good stuff that comes along with that. That's December 6th. Lamont Roach is an awesome interview. Great guy.
Awesome guy. Forget the interview. He's just a good dude. I told you to tell him what's up. You probably did.
He said,
but-
what's up? He goes, where is he? I said, he's on a movie set. He goes, oh yeah, he's got those movie star looks.
See, that's what I get. But yeah, no, he's a good dude. We see him. He trains down in Florida now. He's over at the Pro Box TV training facility, so we get to see him down there training. He's whipping on all the guys over there. But good people, good dude. Good. His dad's awesome. His brother Jordan's great. He's another one to look out for. I think he's a flyweight? I think he's a flyweight coming up, or bantamweight. But yeah, great family, good boxing family, great boxing heritage.
Yeah, and I can't wait for that mega card. Big card, December 6th, and he's the headliner. So we're going to get to him in a second. Some big news broke. Shocking news. According to Ring Magazine, Anthony Joshua is going to step in for Gervonta Davis and fight Jake Paul. We don't know yet if it's an exhibition. We don't know yet the rules set. We don't know the date. These are preliminary talks that are ongoing. Yes, I work for MVP.
Dave Allen criticizes a notion that Anthony Joshua should avoid fighting Jake Paul simply because the matchup is seen as unconventional or entertaining. He emphasizes that Joshua remains in peak physical condition and, unlike retired fighters who may have lost speed or power, still possesses all the tools necessary to dominate in the ring. Allen points out that fans often underestimate the seriousness of such fights, viewing them merely as spectacles. when in reality Joshua's athleticism, strength, and skill make him a formidable opponent. The commentary underscores that this bout is not just about showmanship. Joshua's preparation, discipline, and experience allow him to impose his will on any challenger. Allen also highlights the gap between perception and reality, warning that casual observers may misjudge the risks Jake Paul faces. The matchup demands respect, focus, and acknowledgement of Joshua's elite-level boxing abilities, regardless of the hype surrounding the fight.
Of it was probably shouldn't be licensed, but Florida are very kind of easy commission to get. Yeah, it'd be called an exhibition.
It probably be an exhibition.
It probably would be called an exhibition.
What's the point?
For me, as long as that fight you mentioned just now, Spencer, as long as that roadmap is there and it's signed that he fights an interim guy as a warm-up afterwards and fights Tyson Fury next year and Fury's on board, I'm great with it. Otherwise, I do think his legacy's damaged if his last fight is with Jake Paul.
An exhibition is a waste of time. They're for retired fighters. For retired fighters, it's a load of rubbish.
Yeah, listen, the guy's still in his athletic prime. I personally don't see the reason why they can't just do the Tyson Fury fight. Why do we need interims?
Well, we all want that.
Yeah, but why do we need interims? Why do we need warm-ups? We're talking about two experienced guys who've been the best, as you just said, of the last 10, 20 years. Just get the fight on.
It's as ridiculous as Gervonta Davis going in with him, basically, isn't it, with Jake Paul,
Quite
frankly?
no different mindsets. And what, again, listening to Eddie today and what he was saying, the damage that Anthony Joshua suffered mentally, not physically, because physically he's still there, but mentally against Daniel Dubois, he needs to go through that process again. And they said, that's just the whole getting your hands wrapped up, doing it, whether it's Jake Paul, whether it's a top 100 fighter, you go, that's the way that Anthony Joshua ticks. He needs that before going into the... All roads lead to Fury, right? We all know that. Whether Fury...
Analysts note that Jake Paul is stepping into a fight against an opponent closer to his level in active competition, unlike the older or retired fighters he has previously faced. While this presents an exciting challenge fans have anticipated, it also raises significant physical risks. Commentators emphasize that Joshua's superior skill, power, and experience make health and safety a major concern. The matchup may be competitive on paper, but the potential physical consequences make it highly dangerous for Paul.
Maybe even bigger than the Mike Tyson fight. It's hard to say really. Tyson was a big name, but it's going to do numbers regardless because Joshua is a big name and then people are going to be tuning in to see Jake Paul get knocked out. Right now, Eddie Hearn talks about Jake Paul taking this Joshua fight.
I mean, my estimations of Jake Paul would go through the roof if he signs to fight Anthony Joshua, because I just can't believe in my mind that he would do something like that. I mean, Gervonta was a smart one because of his size. Like, you know, I think actually he would have had a lot of success against Jake Paul, but the size is a problem. But this would just be, you know, like if Jake Paul was to take the fight with AJ, you'd really have to maybe carry his balls in a wheelbarrow on the ring walk, you know, because AJ wouldn't mess around in there, you know. So it would be huge, but nothing, you know, to tell you it's close. Just a few conversations so far.
Damn right, if Jake Paul takes this fight, he's got some major balls on him. And I know people hate influencer boxing, but come on, he's not fighting an old, retired, past the prime MMA fighter. No, he's fighting a legit boxer who's massive, 6'5", 6'6", jacked, 240, 250 pounds, shredded, power puncher. Do we need to remind ourselves of what Joshua did to Francis Ngannou? Francis Ngannou was coming off a pretty good performance over Tyson Fury. He didn't get the win in that fight, but you could argue that he did actually win that fight. And Ngannou, throughout his entire MMA career, in 4-ounce gloves, very, very rarely got hit. He could take a punch. He's got a big, fat African head. Big, thick neck, traps, back. He just can't really be hit. And look what Joshua did to Ngannou. Out cold. So what do you think Joshua is going to do to Jake Paul? Jake Paul better start loading up on that Trembolone. He needs to start eating Anavar like Skittles.
Analysts highlight that Anthony Joshua's credentials as an Olympic gold medalist and former heavyweight champion make him a formidable opponent regardless of the fight's circumstances. They emphasize that his blend of technical skill, power, and experience surpasses anything Jake Paul has previously faced. Joshua's ability to read opponents, adapt strategies mid-fight, and deliver precise, punishing punches means that even small mistakes by Paul could be ruthlessly exploited, making the bout extremely high risk for him.
Gold medalist, unified champion at the heavyweight division. He is 6'6", 250 pounds. And also, I do think...
Oh my God.
I do. Yeah. No, Jake Paul 6'1" and about 220. I want to say this though. I think Anthony Joshua, he's made stupid money in his career, dumb money in his career. I don't think he's going to be in a position to be accepting BS terms with Jake Paul, and this is really what's going to end up happening. I think we're actually going to get to see Jake Paul against a former heavyweight champion of the world. Do I think that's a smart idea? Absolutely not. For Jake Paul, do I think it would sell? Absolutely. Do I think it'd be very interesting and people would tune in to see if he gets his head knocked off? Absolutely. I genuinely, I hate to say it.
Experts stress that this fight is far from casual, requiring full focus, preparation, and respect for Anthony Joshua's abilities. Analysts highlight Joshua's physical advantages. His reach, strength, and conditioning would allow him to control the pace and distance of the fight. While Jake Paul may enter with confidence, underestimating a former world champion carries serious risks. Commentary notes that Joshua's experience against top-tier heavyweights has sharpened his timing, defensive skills, and ring IQ, enabling him to dominate even unconventional opponents. Overall, analysts agree that this matchup is a genuine test of Paul's abilities, with Joshua's elite status guaranteeing a strategically demanding, highly competitive fight that requires both skill and caution from his opponent.
Probably sees Alexander Usyk, who's now the undisputed, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time now after beating all these guys. He was a smaller guy. Went up, he's like 6'2", 6'3", about 200 pounds. At first, now he's probably sitting at about 220, 230. Similar size to Jake Paul. Went up and beat all these guys. Granted, Usyk, greatest amateur boxer at that weight class ever. I think it's going to be interesting, but I do think Jake Paul is in a good position.
The only fear is this.
I hate to give him credit.
If Jake Paul gets his block knocked off completely.
Yeah, very possible.
The Jake Paul experiment is on. It's a wrap. Because if you step into the ring, everybody thus far is wondering and has wondered, like, what would happen versus a legitimate boxer?
Yeah.
And in their relative shape. Not a 50-year-old Floyd.
Yeah.
Not a 60-year-old Mike. We've all asked ourselves, well, what happens if you fight a real fighter? The problem is, once you fight a real fighter and you get beat down, the hypothesis is gone. So now we don't need to wait to see the experiment. Y'all know what we do every year. We say the best college team could beat the worst NFL team.
Yeah,
and it's a fun debate.
Yeah.
Because if you don't really know ball, though, you'll be like, man, but if 10 players on Georgia would start for the Cleveland Browns right now. But if they
Oladipo emphasizes that this fight is one of the biggest in recent memory, attracting massive attention from fans and media worldwide. He notes that Anthony Joshua's status as a former heavyweight champion and Olympic gold medalist adds credibility and excitement, making the matchup highly anticipated. Fans are eager for action-packed moments and potential knockouts, heightening the fight's intensity and spectacle. Oladipo highlights that Joshua's skill, power, and experience make him a serious threat, ensuring the bout is more than just entertainment. Combined with Jake Paul's popularity, the matchup generates enormous interest, sparking widespread discussion across boxing communities and mainstream audiences. The anticipation, media coverage, and fan engagement underscore the global significance of this clash.
This is, for Jake Paul, a much bigger fight than fighting Gervonta Davis. And I mean bigger, not just in the sense of who he's fighting and the size of AJ, I mean bigger in terms of numbers. Like Jake Paul versus AJ does way bigger numbers for me than Gervonta versus AJ. I think this actually does bigger numbers than Terence Crawford versus Canelo. I really do. I think this is, again, if it makes money, it makes sense. Let's talk about the negativity. And look, I get it. Like, if you're like me, I still believe, and look, some might say, well, AJ's just going to pick up, who knows what the numbers are, 80, 100 million, right? And then continue on his trajectory or career to potentially become a world champion again. I don't like this pause. This is just me. I still believe that AJ can do damage in the heavyweight division. I believe that. Again, some people are like, no, he's done. Okay, cool. I believe that AJ can do damage again. I look at the heavyweight division and I remove Alexander Usyk from it, and I'm like, AJ can beat a lot of those guys. So I like the idea of AJ staying busy and having real fights against real heavyweights. So I'm not a fan of this pause, especially considering that we've not seen AJ in the ring since September 2024. It's a long time. It's a long time. So if AJ has this fight, we're not going to see AJ in the ring properly until the spring. It's a long, long time. If AJ was busy, and then had this fight in between, I guess I wouldn't be too mad with it. I get it, right? If someone knocks on your door and says, do you want to fight Jake Paul for 100 million? You're like, you'd be stupid to say no. No, I don't want that 100 million for what would be and will be.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for more.